Is the last voyage of Demeter any good? Let's find out right now.
We call him Dracula.
Alright, welcome back to the channel. Before we get to my quick review of the movie, make sure you leave a like on this video, it helps out a lot. And our quick plot description says, Dracula's unholy presence dooms over the crew of the merchant ship Demeter as it sails its way to London. Alright, so first to preface before we start, I really didn't have any big expectations going into this one. I really did not really care to go see it, to be honest, but I did go with one of my friends to this one. Did kind of make it a better experience than it actually was, because overall, quick first thoughts, it didn't really, I guess it wasn't really for me. I mean, I really did enjoy some parts, especially the last 20 minutes and the first 15 minutes, but all like that hour in the middle, I just felt myself really getting tired and about to fall asleep. It was kind of boring for me. Even though I do love kind of like these pirate ship movies, like Dracula horror movies, I feel like those can be executed very well. I think this one kind of like lands there sometimes, but it mostly just doesn't hit. And this one kind of like reminds me of just some horror movies that just take jump scares too seriously. Like there's way too many jump scares in this movie to begin with, and half of them are just not even great. You know, some jump scares make me jump, some just don't, and this is like the majority of them. Like I wasn't even getting fazed by the jump scares, maybe because I was getting tired during the movie, because I was getting pretty tired during this movie. I don't know, it just didn't do much for me. And our cast here is like, our cast is basically full of people that I haven't seen in anything except two people, which is Corey Hawkins and David Dastmalchian. I think that they are the best in the movie and they're utilized the best, I think, and I think I liked them the best in the movie, probably because they're the only two cast members that I recognize from any other projects. But everyone else, I think they did a fine job. I don't think anyone really had like a breakout spectacular performance in a Dracula horror movie, because that's not what you're gonna get for this movie. And supposedly this movie like went through development hell trying to get the script out, trying to actually make the movie, which after seeing it, I do believe, because the script is pretty horrendous. I didn't really care for any of the lines or any of the like horror elements that they're trying to go through. I thought the characters were all really dumb and were written pretty dumb. Like some of the characters in the movie, they saw these bad things happen, these people and these animals getting bit in the neck, and they're like, oh, it's nothing, let's just keep carrying on. And like sometimes I can go for that. I can like go past it and be like, oh yeah, these characters are dumb. But I'm like, come on, you literally can see something is going on in your ship, people are dying, and you just want to say that they're going overboard, they're jumping overboard. How is someone going to jump overboard for just no reason? Someone is on your ship and doing something to your animals, and I just don't care. And sometimes they do kill characters in here and try to give them like a very emotional death, especially this one character in the end, and I didn't care. Like, if you're not gonna like give us an emotional reason to care about this character and their death, then don't make it emotional. Don't try to do that, because it just makes your script look even weaker because you didn't care for them in the beginning. That's all I gotta say, because if you're gonna kill some characters, you gotta make it fast or make it silly or just do something violent. You can't make it emotional in a movie that you can't invest any of your time with these characters in. And kind of like we see Dracula in this movie, one of my positives is I liked how Dracula looked. He looked simple, looked very like kind of scary, grotesque, but just very plain looking. Kind of like, I don't know if you'd say brown, but kind of like gray character. Gray color, because that's what Dracula is. And then he kind of like has some big fangs and all that, but they don't do well at showing him until those last 20 minutes. Last 20 minutes you can see him very well with his wings and all that, and the rest of it I just didn't care how they tried to really reveal him or like hide him. Like, we knew it was Dracula movie. Don't try to hide him in the movie. What's the point of hiding him when we knew he was in it? And that kind of brings you to the point of the horror of this movie just wasn't strong. As I said, the jump scares just were very weak. Maybe if I was 5 years old, I would think the jump scares were great, but I just didn't care for them. There's a couple good ones in the last 20 minutes. That's why I like the last 20 minutes a decent bit. But most of them are just very lazy, I think, and just didn't really have any suspense in it. Maybe that's because the score, or maybe that's just how they shot the scenes. And I thought the action was pretty well done in the end. I feel like once you have Dracula like in your sights and actually on screen for a decent amount of time, you can have some great action, and that's what they did in the last 20 minutes. And I think our main Our main lead here, Corey Hawkins, I think he does a great job, especially in those last 5 minutes. He has a little scene in the last 5 minutes. I'm not going to say what it is, but I think that's a very great scene. How they kind of set things up, how they kind of end things in kind of like a tense way. The first 15 minutes with Corey Hawkins, I think he does great there. I think he has a great accent in this movie. I don't think he has an accent in real life. I think he's just American. So I think he does a great job with this accent that he makes up. I think that the cast tried to do their best. You know, that's all you can do when a script just isn't polished or finished well. That's all you can do. And, you know, if that's all they can do, great. But sometimes I feel like they could really elevate it. And I don't think it's really elevated here much. But as I said, I did enjoy Corey Hawkins and David Dastmalchian a decent bit. The pace runtime of this one, it's about an hour and 56 minutes. Let me tell you real quick, I was starting to get real sleepy, as I said. An hour and 56 minutes for a Dracula horror movie is not great, especially when you're on a ship for most of the time. You're just waiting for more people to get killed in the movie, not trying to be harsh, but you had to wait like 20 minutes for another death scene because they just rambled on and on with this script. And I think that the issue lied with kind of like the movie just taking place on the ship. I feel like the ship looked cool, and I didn't really notice like the green screen. I didn't really notice, like, sometimes you notice a ship and you're like, oh yeah, it's a set. I think this actually looked pretty realistic, but they didn't really try to explore the ship too much. We were just on deck for the most of the time. And I feel like that's the issue where it lies right there, is that you're just in one place for so long and you're just not going anywhere a lot of the times. I feel like that's where it lies mostly. But yeah, I still feel like the script couldn't carry an hour and 56 minute runtime. That's probably why I liked the first 15 minutes and last 20 minutes so much, because it didn't really have much going on and you weren't really on the ship for all that time, especially the first 15 minutes you're not on the ship just yet. So yeah, I feel like the pace was just really slow, really lackluster a lot of the times. So I really don't think it needed to be an hour and 56. I think you could have shaved like 20 minutes off of it to make it a perfect hour and a half, hour 35 movie. But yeah, I didn't really care for this one. The Last Voyage of Demeter is one that I didn't go in with high expectations, and I guess that really helped because I would have hated it even more. But I didn't really hate it. I just felt like it's a really okay movie and really not one that I'm going to watch again. As I said, I enjoyed the beginning and the end, but everything in the middle I could just skip past, and I really get the same feeling. And I really see the movie the same way because, you know, Dracula comes and then he exits at the end of the movie. You get that whole fight scene at the end. That's what you're going to get. It's a formulaic movie just on a ship. It's just Last Voyage of Demeter with the evil looking Dracula that's sometimes utilized well, sometimes not. So, I mean, if you like Dracula movies, I feel like you might find some stuff to enjoy, but I feel like you may get bored at a little bit of it. That's a fair warning. But overall, I'm going to give The Last Voyage of Demeter a low 5 out of 10. Yeah, not great, but 5 out of 10 is what it gets because I don't want to feel more harsh to the movie, but I just didn't like it any more than I did. So yeah, that's my review of Last Voyage of Demeter. Go see it if you dare. If you like Dracula, go see it. If you like a bad kind of horror movie, go see it. But I would wait for streaming on this one. I don't feel like it's worth seeing in the theater. But hopefully we get some more better movies this month because we only got Gran Turismo this month, which is pretty good. But hopefully this month lives up to the hype. Hopefully it's a little better. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like. It helps out a lot. Subscribe to the channel. I upload almost every day. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.